All right, welcome back. So, we're going to go into our code and clean it up. So, if you guys remember, I have given the code free on GitHub. You can always come by and just look at it, take it, whatever. It's all yours. I don't mind. And what we're going to do is we actually cleaned up the code a little bit. If you guys remember, the old shooter animation actually had the gun and it had the whole shooting mechanic in it, which I did not, which I said is a really bad idea, which it is. So what we did, or what I was gonna do is, let's go here. So we just copied and pasted and just kept it here. We're gonna be doing the rest of this later, but for now we're just gonna keep that shoot. And we added a new function called it gun handler. It's already in our scripts right here, I believe. Gun handler right here. And what we're gonna do is another thing that we're gonna do is actually the interactor. The interactor was before called raycast, but we are calling it interactor because we want it to be our interacting function, because what we want is the character to interact with E, so we're just gonna give it a whole class. And the other thing we did was, when we had the shotgun, we have a shotgun with a trigger point where the bullets are supposed to come out from, the shotgun itself with the property. So we made a new property. We made a new property called the bullet property, and what we have inside are the bullet prefab, which is the file, the bullet damage, which is an int, and the rate of fire, which is a float. So now we're giving every gun its own special property. So if you have like different 4, 5, 6 guns, each one has its own bullet. For now I'm lazy, so we're giving it just the same bullet. We're gonna assign it its own damage modifier and its own rate of fire. So I'm gonna say in this case 2, so that means I'm gonna shoot twice in a second. All right. The next thing was, here's the bullet. The bullet itself has that bullet code, which has a lifetime that deletes itself after 0.4 seconds in this case. So now that we have everything set up, if you want to look at it again, we have a few things set up with the code. So if you're going to copy and paste my code, this is what you want to understand. So the first thing is, we have the shooter guy, the dude. He has a world transformable, so just right click, create, I believe it was a, it was a bone somewhere here, I can't remember where it was. It was a mesh skin bone, and it's connected to the right hand of the guy. And then we created a trigger point, which is all in our drive right here, the shooter package. It has all of this included. I don't think I upgraded the shotgun, so you might want to have to add that trigger point yourself, this guy, but just put it right in front of the muzzle. That's where the boy or the bullet is gonna come out of. The next thing we did was we give that mesh skinned, so the dude itself, we gave him the animation controller and we gave him an animation property. So if we go inside our animation, we have the animation property, which has all the 3 animations, and it has all of them. I also added a left and right, but I did not create it yet. So if we were to go here, we have an animation. I already set it up, but the thing is, I did not add the animation over here. So I did not add the animation to move left and right. So you guys can do that for yourself, or if you don't want to, you don't need to, it's all good, but I gave it for you as extra homework. So if anyone wants to do it, go ahead. The next thing we did was in the main character, which is the object dummy. So you just right click, create physics object dummy, and that gives you the physics. Then you go into the physics tab and you give it, oops, not this guy. Then you go into the physics tab and you give it a rigid body, and you give it a sphere shape capsule, and then just set up its radius. So that's going to be set up. Then we gave it a physics controller, which has all this stuff. The side speed is moving left, right. Max speed is this full speed, and speed is just the regular. The interactor just needs a camera, which is the main camera that we have. And then the gun handler is to that guy. The last thing is the main camera has its own third-person camera. It has its own property, which I was making for it. Now, reason why we're doing this is so when we right click, it goes into that aim mode without actually, you know, looking too bad. You can go in and check on it, but let's just check on it right here. It has two properties. So it has a normal and an aiming. Each one has its own thing, and it's pretty nicely detailed inside the controllers, camera controllers. If you go, everything is in here, right here. I'm pretty sure I wrote it somewhere else. Oh yeah, in the third person camera, my bad. So I wrote it all in here. We initialized it. We got our properties. Then we did it, lerp, and then invert, which I forgot to write right here. Now that I do it. No, oops. Invert should be right here for now. This just takes in the invert Y and invert X of the main camera and chooses it. So if we just go back, it takes these and inverts the left and right, up, down. All right, then it updates. It has a lerping, the lerp, and you'll see that soon. So now we're in the interactor. Before we had it go into the gun, the shooter, and change it to equipped where we get the gun. But this time we have the gun handler, which takes care of that. So now we're gonna keep that shoot function, and we're here. We're gonna keep that shoot function, and we are going to, let's first just make it into 100. To be honest, I think 100's faster or better in terms of speed. And let's actually start coding this. So if we go in our shotgun, we got the gun property. So let's actually first connect a few things. So in our get gun, we got the gun, we have our bullet prefab, we also have our damage, rate of fire, and rate of fire time. The rate of fire is going to be our rate of fire. The rate of fire time is going to be the time added on with that rate of fire. So we're actually going to be doing that a few times. So first, let's go here. We connected the gun. So the next thing we're going to do is actually we have a function over here that's called isHolding. I mean, not a function, but a boolean. So the reason why we're going to do that is so if we were to, let's say, if we were to like click the shoot button, which is my mouse left click, and there's nothing in there, it's just going to crash the game. So what we need is a little flag, and this is our boolean flag saying that once we have it, we are holding it in, right? So then the next thing is holding equals to true. All right, so now the holding is true, so now we're going to do the shooting. So I can just say shoot right here, and it's going to ask for what you want to shoot it in. We're just going to give it this whole thing right here, and then we're just going to we're going to change that main camera to game.player and just copy and paste this. So just highlight this, Control C, Control C, Control V. Okay. So now it's going to be, oh, I did this twice. So I'm just going to remove that. We just need the position plus the direction times 100 times away, and yes, so that's that. Then we got the holding equals to true, so now it's going to shoot. But here's the thing, it's just going to keep shooting, so we're going to have to add one more layer. So it's going to be like if now that I press input dot is mouse button pressed means like I'm holding it. So if I'm holding the left button, then we shoot, right? So we still have one more thing, but we'll do that later. The next thing we're going to do is set up our damage and our rate of fire. So we're going to do damage equals to, then we're going to go into the gun, get the property, number 0, which is the first property that we have, and the only one that we have is the gun property. So we do gun property dot 0 dot get parameter pointer, and then it's going to ask for which one. Parameter pointer are these guys, so we're going to choose number 0, which is the first one. Everything starts with 0 dot value int. Okay, so that's there. Then we're going to do the rate of fire. Oh wait, my bad. This is the damage. The damage is the second one, which is 1 parameter pointer. Then we're going to do the rate of fire, which equals to, let's just copy and paste this stuff. And then we're going to say equals to 2 dot float. Okay, so that's there. The next thing we're going to do is let's just keep it in order. So we need the bullet prefab, which we didn't connect. So we're going to do that. So we're going to say new asset link node, and then we're going to have brackets, and then it's going to ask for a path or just an empty. The path is going to be the value file of the node. So we're going to do the same gun.get property got parameter, whoopsies, that, and then we're going to say 0, which is the first one, the bullet itself, and then we're going to say dot value file. So that gives us the file value. It's connected. We have a new asset link node. We didn't load it yet, so now we're going to go inside here and we're going to change 2 things. So I think we're going to change something here. So first, we're going to create a node, call it bullet, load it. Then the world position, set it up to be in that trigger point, the trigger point. So we're going to set it to be on that area. Then we're going to say look at where we're looking at. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go inside and take its the function bullet, right? And I'm just going to call it x because the bullet itself has a function and we didn't give it a damage. So we're going to do bullet get component of bullet, and it's going to ask for where is it. So we're going to just say bullet. So now the bullet has they're being connected. So x dot damage amount equals to damage, right? So now that's connected and we are done there. Now if we run it, what it's going to do is it's just going to shoot it as we're holding it infinitely. We need to add the rate of fire. So we're just going to add a one more if, and we're going to say game.time is greater than rate of fire time. So if it's bigger than the rate of fire time, because game time will always go up and it's going to go up by seconds, so we're going to get shoot. Now we're also going to have to update the rate of fire. So what we're going to do is rate of fire time equals to game.time, so the same time that we got, plus in brackets, not object, plus in brackets 1 over rate of fire, because we had rate of fire, let's say it's 2, right? We wanted 2 per second, so it's going to say game time in second plus half a second, which will be the new rate of fire time, and then it's going to wait until the game time is bigger than half a second, and then it's going to shoot the object. So let's check it out. So now we're here. I added a new reticule. Let's hover over here. We got the object. Hold right click. Here's the aiming. As you can see, it's aiming in, and then when you click and you keep holding the shooting button, oops, it's too fast, and you keep holding shooting button, it's going to shoot 2 per second. So as we're shooting, you can see the health bar going, you can see the health going down, 0, 1, 0, and it broke. These two don't have health bars, so it's just shooting. This one shoots, and since it has too much damage, it just threw it away. Anyways, so we got that bullet working, and we got our object working. So yeah, we're done. We're gonna keep these for now. We're not gonna use them, but we're gonna be keeping them for now because I got other plans for this. But yeah, that's about it. We don't have anything else. This is a physics-based bullet. If you wanted to use the other one, you could use this using and then you could do other logic. So in this case, in the shoot raycast, instead of trying to get the component inside, what you could do is you get the object, you captured the object, which is right here, and whatever object it was, check if it has health, and if it does, then drop it by 1. So it's going to be inside here, something like this. Health bar, get component of that object, right? Get component of that object, and if it exists, then we can drop it by that amount. And that's the way of doing it with the raycast. And yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys next time. If anyone has questions, let me know. The other thing is, if, as you've noticed, the screen was really small. So what I did was, let me just save that. What I did was I added an app set width and height to be 900 and 600. That's why it was like a little 900, 600. You could remove that and it will just take your screen height, but that's just my preference right now. So yeah, that's about it. We're cleaning up the code. You can see it slowly being refactored. Well, I didn't refactor it, I just cleaned it up. So yeah, we're gonna be fixing it soon, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.